All right, let's dive right in. Today we're breaking down Disney's latest earnings report. And honestly, on the surface, the numbers looked fantastic, like a total home run. But Wall Street's reaction? Yeah, that told a completely different story. So the big question is, what really went down?
And that's the real mystery we're tackling today. I mean, how does a company put out what seems like great news, only to have its stock just plummet? To get to the bottom of it, we've got to peel back the layers, look past the big headlines, and really dig into the details.
Okay, so first things first, let's pull up the report card for Q1. We're going to look at the exact same top-line numbers that all the analysts on Wall Street were looking at.
And check this out. It was a beat across the board. Revenue came in at almost $26 billion, which was better than expected. And their earnings per share, EPS, that also came in higher than anyone predicted. Now, usually when you see two beats like that, you'd expect champagne corks to be popping, right?
Well, that celebration never really got started. Instead, the stock dropped more than 7%. So what gives? This is where it gets interesting. Here's the key detail a lot of people missed. While Disney did beat Wall Street's expectations, some of their key numbers were actually down when you compare them to the same time last year. And that year-over-year dip, that's what made investors nervous. So to really get what's happening, we have to look under the hood.
Okay, let's start with the good news, the brightest spot in the whole report, the experiences division. We're talking theme parks, resorts, cruises, and this part of the business has been on an absolute tear.
Get this, for the first time in history, the experiences segment brought in over $10 billion in a single quarter. I mean, that is a massive, massive number. It just goes to show you that people's desire to go to the parks, stay in the resorts, and go on cruises is incredibly strong. We're not just talking about a comeback here. This is a record-breaking performance.
So the question is, how'd they pull that off? Well, it wasn't just one thing. It was a perfect storm, really. For starters, the cruise line added new ships, like the Disney Destiny, which meant more people sailing. The parks here at home had great attendance, and people were spending more money once they were inside. And the future looks bright, too. Bookings for the whole year are already up 5%, and they've got these huge new expansions coming, like the World of Frozen in Paris, which is going to be a huge draw.
All right, let's shift gears to the box office. After a couple of pretty bumpy years, it looks like Disney's film studios are roaring back, and in a big way.
I mean, the scale of their dominance at the box office is just staggering. Think about this. Of every single movie that has ever made over $1 billion, Disney is behind 37 of them. That is 4 times more than their next closest competitor. It's just a crazy testament to the power of their characters and their stories.
And 2025 was just a monster year for them. We're talking over $6.5 billion at the global box office. And what fueled that? Just massive, massive hits. You had the animated blockbuster Zootopia 2 bringing in a mind-blowing $1.7 billion. Then you had Avatar, Fire and Ash, and Lilo and Stitch. Both of them also flew right past that billion-dollar mark. And this is the perfect illustration of Disney's entire strategy. It's exactly what their CEO, Bob Iger, is always talking about. It's all connected. See, a hit movie, it's not just about selling tickets. Nope. It gets people to watch older movies on Disney+, it gives them ideas for new rides at the theme parks, and, of course, it sells a mountain of toys and t-shirts. It's like this giant flywheel that just powers the whole company.
Okay, on to our third big piece of the puzzle, the absolutely incredible turnaround in their streaming business. And you have to remember, this is a part of the company that was just hemorrhaging billions of dollars only a few years ago.
And the change has been just dramatic. Seriously, it wasn't that long ago that streaming was losing $1 billion every single quarter. Now they're aiming for a 10% profit margin. That is a gigantic swing from being deep in the red to seeing a clear path to profitability.
So again, how did they pull this off? Well, it was a few things working together. Their subscription revenue shot up by about 13%, mostly because they were smart about raising prices, and their international shows did really well. Plus, they leaned really hard into bundling, packaging Disney+, Hulu, and ESPN all together, and that turned out to be a great way to stop people from canceling their subscriptions.
So you've got record-breaking parks revenue, a slate of blockbuster movies, and this amazing turnaround in streaming. The big question is, where does a company like Disney go from here? Well, let's take a look at what they're betting on for the future.
Probably the biggest buzz was about their new partnership with OpenAI, the folks who made Sora. And if you haven't seen it, Sora is this mind-blowing AI that can create incredibly realistic video from just a little bit of text. With this new deal, you'll actually be able to generate your own 30-second video clip starring your favorite Disney characters.
And for Bob Iger, this is just the tip of the iceberg. He's laid out this whole vision for how AI sits into Disney. He sees it fitting into three main areas. First, as a tool to help their creative teams. Second, to make the whole company more efficient and productive. And third, and this is the big one, using it to build a much deeper, more direct connection with all of us, the fans.
And of course, that content flywheel we talked about, it just keeps on spinning. The movie lineup for 2026 is, well, it's absolutely stacked with heavy hitters. We're talking sequels to classics we all love, like Toy Story and The Devil Wears Prada. We're getting a big screen movie for The Mandalorian and Grogu, a live-action Moana, and of course, the next huge Avengers movie.
So, when you put it all together, even with that weird reaction from Wall Street, the core parts of Disney's empire, the parks, the movies, and now streaming, they all have some serious momentum. They're making these huge bets on AI, they've got a pipeline stuffed with blockbusters, they are clearly building for the future. And that leaves us with one final big question. What is that future actually going to look like in, say, 10 years?